Well, could we be seeing a big change at the Bernabeu? It does look like Carlo Ancelotti is going to take the Brazil national team job. The eyebrow will still be cooking with Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and all them, man. And it looks highly likely that Xabi Alonso will come in and take over this new dawn, a brave new age of Real Madrid. And it probably it probably should have happened last summer, let's be real. I've done a couple of videos lately on Real Madrid and how there's a bit of a stink around the club recently. Of course, they've been underperforming on the pitch. And you could say they've been underperforming off the pitch too. And a lot of it's been a bad look for Carlo as well, who's been such a beloved figure across European football. Hindsight's 2020, but I guess he should have got out last summer. Of course, Xabi Alonso, after having an amazing season with Bayer Leverkusen, doing the invincible domestic double and just falling short in a European final, where they got slapped by Ademola Lookman. But still, an amazing coach, an amazing opportunity for Xabi Alonso, but of course, an amazing opportunity for Real Madrid as well, to have this young, up-and-coming superstar coach, former player, of course, not only for a bunch of reasons, changing the optics, making just revitalizing, but also the tactics, the sort of modern young coach. So we're going to get into it today and talk all about it. So welcome back to Football Yannick. It's great to see you. How you doing? I think we're literally, by the way, just for reference, at time of recording, on the cusp of 16,000 subscribers here on this channel, which is amazing. It's let me tell you the exact number while I'm speaking to you now for reference. It is 15,954, which my maths makes 46 of you more to subscribe for 16,000, which would be a great landmark for this channel. So yeah, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this appointment. Now, of course, Carlo Ancelotti, no spring chicken. The only manager to win a title over the 5 main European leagues. Incredible guy, character, of course. Me as a Chelsea fan has a great deal of affection towards him for winning the Premier League and the FA Cup. And he's a great manager. He's seen as a sort of vibes man, you know, like a Galactico whisperer, which might work well for the Brazil team for the moment. And of course, it worked really well for Real Madrid for a while. He's been successful there, since going back. And it's worth talking about how that might need to change in the modern game. How the vibes and passion and superstar, immense Galactico talent. You know, I don't want to undermine Carlo because he's obviously tactically good. He's been talking about 4-4-2 recently, which hasn't done him much favours. But he is this guy where he lets the players cook, and that served him well. And to be honest, that served Real Madrid well for a while also. We are in a position in the world of football where we don't know how good Zinedine Zidane is as a football manager. He won 3 Champions Leagues on the spin with Real Madrid. And he won a La Liga as well, I think. Incredible. But that team, sensational. You know, sensational. When Gareth Bale is like an unloved player in your team, and I know he behaved really, really badly over there, but for me, Gareth Bale's like the best British player of all time. For me, he was kind of like, in my opinion, to go off on a fleeting tangent here, he's kind of like Cristiano Ronaldo light in terms of they play very similar, they're built similar, they're fast, strong, direct, you know, headers, overhead kicks, left-hand side. Yeah, very similar to me in that. I'm not saying Gareth Bale's good as Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm just saying he's like Ronaldo from Wish. Anyway, Zidane won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. We'll never know how good he is. I do still think he will succeed Didier Deschamps for the French national team job. He's probably done quite well to just dodge club football. I mean, I hope he's just living the life, man. And it will be great for him to take over the France national team after Deschamps. But yeah, we'll never really know how good Zidane is as a coach because he was linked with Man United. And then, you know, whenever a big club had lost a manager, they'd be like, yeah, get Zidane in. Until people just stopped talking about Zidane. But he from looking from the outside in, was definitely a bit of a Galactico whisperer, because you'd have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, and, you know, you'd have Benitez trying to tell him how to take a free kick, and he'd be like, F off, mate. Do you know what I mean? But then you hear stories about Zidane would do competitions with him who could score the best free kick, and then give him tips, and then he'd be more likely to listen because it's Zidane. You know, so in different ways, getting in the ears of the players and just getting the best out of them, like Ancelotti. That seems to maybe not be the case anymore, because I know, again, he's absolutely not young. In fact, he's very, very old, Hansi Flick. He's much older than I thought he was. He looks great. He's 60 years old. But despite being 60 years old, he does play a very, very modern brand of football. And Barcelona, you know, whether it's Luis Enrique or Flick, Barcelona-linked managers, that's what's leading Europe in terms of football and progression. So maybe not so much not like Carlo Ancelotti anymore, and yeah, let's give Carlo a break. He's had in many ways unparalleled career, and he's 65. So what a lovely old job to go and be the Brazil national team manager for the World Cup, and hopefully, you know, he'll ride off into the sunset having a good time, but, you know, maybe just losing out to England in the final. Anyway, Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso, what an appointment. Of course, Carlo stayed at Real Madrid. Look, Xabi Alonso's former clubs, he's not going to go to Bayern Munich because of his, well, I don't think he would, because of what he did with Leverkusen, and it's not spitting in the face of Leverkusen, but it's just like, Leverkusen to Bayern Munich, so grimly predictable and lame. And then it left Liverpool and Real Madrid. Now, he was heavily linked to Liverpool. He seemed like the perfect successor to Jurgen Klopp. And when they found out he was going to stay for another season and not just jump ship, and I still think that's the right decision, by the way, because Bayer Leverkusen, they've still been very good, but they've just not been insane, basically. So he's left them in a strong position, and, you know, he's not ruined that sort of fairy tale with like finishing 9th or something. So, but Liverpool were like, all right, we'll get Arne Slot in. That proved to be a good decision. He absolutely moonwalked to the Premier League, and it's all great in Liverpool. Yay for them. But obviously Real Madrid, Carlo stayed another season, and it's not been a great season. They still could win La Liga, I believe. At time of recording, they are, they're 4 points. I mean, they're 4 points off, and Barcelona are flying. But Barcelona are still in the Champions League. They could, you know, get distracted with that. You just don't know. But they're probably, you know, they're outsiders at this point with a few games to go. But they still have to focus on it, you know. They don't want to like completely capitulate. I know Tony Rudiger just had surgery on an injury he's been nursing all season, so they'll be without him now. He probably needs some time to cool off, pun intended. Anyway, Xabi Alonso, amazing young coach. He went into Bayer Leverkusen mid-season, picked them up, and tried some different stuff, and then the next season just won the league in an invincible season. I don't think it's been done before in the Bundesliga. And, an amazing coach. By far, like, the most desirable young coach in world football. He's comfortably second in La Liga. They're not going to win the title. Bayern's going to win the title. The curse of Harry Kane will be lifted. Harry Kane will win a major trophy and the Golden Boot as well, which is nice for him. So he will have that in his locker. Sorry, I've got crazy hay fever today, as per usual here up in the freaking sticks. It's a great appointment for Real Madrid because it will put some systemic discipline in them. I'd like to think Xabi Alonso won't allow poor behaviour. It will be a little bit more right. It's going to be less egos and, high performances. It's going to be more system, teamwork. Look at what I did with Bayer Leverkusen. Imagine I can scale that up with the sheer brilliance and talent of Real Madrid. Listen to me. And obviously he's a legend. He's a footballing legend himself. And in his very, very short managerial career, he's absolutely proven that he's top boy. So they have to listen to him. He demands respect. He demands the ear of the players. And look, for me personally, like, if I could pick one manager to come to my club, Chelsea, just because I'm not necessarily Maresca out, the Chelsea manager, because I'm very mindful of, like, the project and the damage it could do with certain managers and new demands. But one manager I'd definitely go, yup, is Xabi Alonso, personally. So it's an amazing appointment for Real Madrid. He could be a real legacy manager there. And, yeah, it looks like it will be possibly Ben Jacobs' rights. The compensation will be about £10 million plus, which is totally fine. And he's keen to take over. There's no formal release clause with Leverkusen, but Leverkusen won't stand in his way. Ben Jacobs' rights, and that kind of makes sense because he's obviously worked literally a miracle for them, and he stayed for an extra season to, you know, help transition. So he's done everything for them. So yeah, great appointment. Let me know your thoughts though. Comment down below. As always, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. We're so close to getting over 16,000 subs, so if you're yet to subscribe, please do so. I hope to see you back here soon. Take care. Enjoy the football. Peace.